Hi, everybody. Are you interested in the Jeffrey Epstein files, Donald Trump, and the truth about Donald Trump and who he is? The Charlie Kirk situation, well, it's not a situation. He was assassinated globally. Globally. Now, if you compare the Charlie Kirk assassination with the JFK assassination, back then, why was there only one man in the world that went to that? I often question the man that released the footage to the government in reference to the assassination of JFK. He was the only person who had film and filmed it. Why? I don't understand that. Charlie Kirk was assassinated in front of our eyes. And what does that have to do with his wife, Candace Owens? Ben Shapiro.
My name is Ben Shapiro. Meghan, how can you actually stick up for Candace Owens? Because she's evil. She's trying to say on her show that Erica Kirk killed her husband.
And Meghan Kelly said, "Is that what Candace is saying?" And
yes, that's exactly what Candace is saying.
And Meghan Kelly said, "I don't know if it's any of my business." Ben Shapiro.
Why do you not think this is your business? Can you please explain to me why this is not your business, Meghan?
And she said, "Well, I don't know Candace, and I haven't watched any of her footage, so I can't comment on something I don't know."
How can you stick there and stick up for Candace Owens and, Tucker Carlson?
That was when Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens were on Meghan Kelly's show, and Ben Shapiro was trying to back Meghan Kelly into a corner in reference to Candace Owens digging her heels in reference to Charlie Kirk's death. And let's be real here. The difference between JFK is there was one man who took footage out of those thousands of people who watched what happened to JFK. Jackie Onassis, in my opinion, was a first lady with the most class and dignity, and she really tried to preserve the Kennedy legacy. The similarities between Jackie and Erica is Erica wants to preserve her husband's legacy. Candace Owens has never said outright that Erica Kirk had anything to do with it. I'm saying nothing. I interpret Candace the way I do. I don't agree with everything she says, particularly her pro-life. All of those pro-life picketers that stand in front of abortion clinics and want to rip women's heads off that have abortions, then you know what? You adopt all the children, Candace. You start a foundation for women that want to have abortions, set them up, let them give birth, and give them to homes. But here's the problem with adoption. When you're adopted, you never, ever, ever know who you are. You don't know who you are until you find out who your parents are, because XX and XY chromosomes, 47% comes from the father, and something like 53% come from the mother. And the genealogy goes back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So really, who are we? A split between our mother and our fathers? Or I mean, I know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but we can roll. The other thing that I don't buy, and the other thing I know is true, allegedly, is Epstein, Maxwell, Robert Maxwell, and Donald Trump all knew each other in the 80s when Donald Trump built that Atlanta casino with Ivanka Trump. And it was amazing to me that Ivanka Trump and Marla Maples never came out saying anything about Donald Trump. Why? Because in the divorce, I bet you there was an NDA. Like, Donald Trump is connected with the likes of Roy Cohen. I won't even look at a picture of Roy Cohen because his eyes are evil. Jeffrey Epstein's face is all over the place. Why? And why is his brother coming out now? Mark Epstein. We know nothing about Jeffrey Epstein's childhood. Donald Trump is not releasing those files because it incriminates him. Piers Morgan and Meghan Kelly try to play the YouTube mainstream media line. They are not flat out like Candace Owens. Even though some of her theories are a little off the wall because you can connect anything to anything. Coincidences are not coincidences. I don't believe in that. It's God. Now, if you ask me what God is, well, I'm not Catholic, Protestant. I was baptized Greek Orthodox, but what does that mean when you're a baby? It's to wash the sins away. And when you're a child, you grow up and you're young, and every person as a baby that even looks at you, touches you, every person you walk by, every home you go into, everything we covet every day, that energy sticks to us. And when people get down rabbit holes of negativity, like Jeffrey Epstein and Robert Maxwell and the death of Virginia Giuffre, unaliving herself because of the pain. I think these men are disgusting. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail and all of the men are free? And where are those other women that procured victims? It's a disgusting display, and this world is run by absolute psychopaths, narcissists, because have you ever noticed that nice guys finish last? Seriously, I am not Whitney Webb. I am not Candace Owens, but I am not unintelligible. And even though this channel was built very, very slowly, but every single person on this channel I know, every person who's ever commented, there's relationships that have been built on this channel because it's smaller. And I like it that way. However, I started this as a non-donation charity. The origin, intent, and goal of the channel is on the playlist. And if you can get through that video to find out why I started this channel, why I put a petition on change.org in reference to the corruption in the Canadian healthcare system. So I've experienced some corruption being in a wheelchair for a year because a psychopathic doctor falsified information really put me into a rage. I was violated in a different way, but I don't feel victimized. I don't feel like a survivor. I feel and think logically it was something that I needed to go through to learn, because God or the energy or the powers that be do not give us more than we can handle. If Auschwitz survivors survived, now that is surviving. And all Donald Trump does is he divides, he's negative, he's normalized disgusting people. The only person that's come around away from Donald Trump is Michael Cohen. So Trump, you are going down. It is going to happen. And you got away with everything, Mr. Trump. And Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, it was the administration, full stop administration right now. Candace Owens said the same thing in a different way. And it's interesting because I really should put my opinions up earlier than later. That Meghan Markle and Andrew connection is undeniable now. She would have known Jeffrey Epstein. She knew Andrew because she knew Beatrice and she knew Eugenie, and that is how she got to Harry. And she blew it up. And that Vanity Fair thing, I think that magazine made her look like a frumpy moron. You know why I call evil people names? Because they deserve it. But I don't want to sin. But sometimes Jesus always says to turn the other cheek. But how many times can you get punched in the face? And what can we do about it, people? What can we do? I'm a Canadian looking in, and I see nothing but a reality show. Anyways, if you've liked anything I've said, or if you're interested in my story, please subscribe if you'd like to, or maybe you want to, look at the footage first to see if it's something that you'll return to. And oh, hi there. Hello. Sorry, I was closing my eyes when I was talking. How do you pronounce your name? Hanan Zumadi? I don't know if you agree with anything I've said, but I really appreciate it. And I've got a lot to unwrap sometimes, but I've wrapped it up. I always like to welcome and respect aspects of people, but there's nothing I respect about Epstein or Maxwell or Robert Maxwell or Roy Cohen. His eyes are pure evil. I won't look at his eyes. I don't want that vision in my head because it's evil. And Donald Trump is evil. He's lied to all of you. The MAGA movement, he's lied to all of you. Do you really want to elect Donald Trump? Why was it Charlie Kirk? Because he would have been president, the youngest president, and he's gone. And who's behind it? Well, if you don't believe me, I don't know, go to bigger YouTube channels and see if what I'm saying is congruent with Whitney Webb and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Meghan Kelly. I can't stand it anymore. And Maureen Callahan, she rips everybody apart. So is she really the good person, or does it take one to know one? I don't know. You take care, Han. Thank you so much for joining in. I do appreciate it. I'll be dancing on the ceiling next, Keith. Don't worry. I'll be dancing on the ceiling. My channel is light, fluffy. It's a non-donation charity. Monetization goes out to the people on this channel because I was so hurt before. I thought everybody must be hurt. So I started a non-donation charity. If you've ever been injured, hurt, violated, and you want your story told, I promise you this is a safe place. My emails, my stories, my openness, my transparency is all out there, which is probably not a good thing. But thank you so much for joining, and I'm going to wrap it up. And I wish all of you an amazing Saturday, November the 21st of 2025. And it'll be 3 months in 8 days that Charlie Kirk has been gone. But we're still not finished talking about him, because he said some things that are really strange about Black people. When he said that if he got onto a plane and the pilot was Black, he'd be worried. What the F is that? And him and Candace Owens were friends. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think Candace Owens sticks up for men and white people. She does the exact opposite, or she leans into her anger. You know, she was anorexic from being bullied. She had to change schools. Do you know, if you want to talk to Candace, it's $20 a minute? I mean, that's more than a psychic. Jesus. Oh, gosh. I know Candace, Christ is King, but how can you charge that much if you're a Christian? Seriously. I'm really starting to question, have you ever noticed that the bigger people's channels get, their egos are bigger and bigger and bigger? It's terrible. It's just terrible. What else do I have? Oh, dancing on the ceiling. Keith, I'll do it. No problem. This channel, okay, that's all I want to say about that. Because later on this afternoon, wait a minute, I'm going to be dancing and exercising, and we're going to hold that position for 15 minutes. Okay. Bye, everybody, and that is a wrap.